this is, I mean, it's a lot of yarn. I'm Tamara, the girl behind Starcross Knits, and I have recently come into a very large amount of yarn, which I guess that sounds so like mysterious. I don't know, widow wearing a chiffon and fur feather robe being like, my husband died under mysterious circumstances and I've come into quite a bit of wealth. It's not that mysterious. I have a really good friend who knits and she is moving to a city and she needs to downsize a lot. So I think over the years, she's been given a lot of yarn as gifts. And sometimes when you get yarn as a gift, it doesn't necessarily map to the projects you want to do. She just kind of wanted to downsize a bunch of her yarn collection and just keep the stuff that she knows she has projects in mind for. And then I am the lucky recipient. So I am more than grateful to receive a lot of yarn. And my goal is to go through all of it, categorize it, and I want to save it in my stash on Ravelry, which I've actually never used before. So I'll kind of show you a little bit about how to add things into your stash on Ravelry. I'd like to be able to have a good idea of what all I have. And then I also, as I'm going through it, kind of want to start sorting things into what do I think I might actually keep and what do I think I might pass on to other knitting friends, donate, whatever. So those are the thoughts. It's a lot of yarn. I feel very lucky and grateful. My friend is so generous to give me all of this yarn. Would I rather have my friend just live 10 minutes from me? I would choose that over however many skeins of yarn, but silver lining to her moving away, this will be really fun and I'm really excited. They're all in these like plastic bins. So they've been sitting in my living room for the past day and I've been like, I feel like a little kid at Christmas just like looking through the plastic sides of the bin being like, oh my God, I can see what's in there. So I'm really excited to go through them and I hope it'll be fun. Okay, so I just got through the first box and I'll show you what we've got so far. A bunch of cotton yarn, which I think I am going to keep because I think this is great for tote bags. My summertime tote bag pattern uses this exact yarn. And then I have these 3 bags are mostly just scratchy yarn that is too scratchy for me to use. And then this big bag has a bunch of hand painted fingering and DK weight yarn that I think I do want to keep. So, okay, 1 box down, 7 boxes to go. So let's just open up this box right now. So let me just show you this situation. All right, so here's just right off the top. So one kind of funny thing about getting all this yarn from a friend is that I actually recognize some of her projects and outfits just within this box, which is like kind of sweet. I hope doesn't make me creepy. If you ever wear knitwear around me, you best believe I'm gonna be noticing it. But I see immediately a bunch of Aloft mohair from Knit Picks in this like forest green, and she has a beautiful cumulus blouse, I think, from Petite Knit that is all in this mohair. And I remember like one of the first times we hung out, she wore this and I was like, oh my God, this girl can knit. So that's kind of funny to see this like leftover. So I guess I'll just also share how me and this friend met because it's kind of a cool story. So this was when I had maybe like a few hundred at best followers on Instagram, and I think at one point, maybe literally one time, I tagged #VermontKnitter on some post that I made, and she found that and messaged me, and she didn't have like a real Instagram profile. It was like kind of a lurker account, no photo, no followers, no posts, and was like, hey, I swear I'm a real person despite my profile. I'm also a software engineer. I also used to live in San Francisco. I also just moved to Vermont during COVID. We should be friends. And I remember I was at a friend's bachelorette party when I got that message, and I read it out loud, and all of my friends were like, that sounds like a lie. Like, how could that be true that this person is like the same as you? You shouldn't go. That sounds really creepy. But I did end up going. sight unseen, didn't really know anything about her. So it turns out that not only did we have like all of those things in common, but we had moved during COVID to the same tiny ass town in Vermont, like population of 3,000 people. She lived 5 miles away from me. So it was like, what are the chances of that? And then turns out that her husband went to the same high school as me. It was just a very, very weird, tons of overlapping coincidences. But anyway, we ended up becoming really good friends, and I'm so glad that we met. And that's like such a special part of knitting Instagram for me, is that I've made this like amazing friend through it. And in general, the knitting Instagram community and the YouTube Instagram community are just like incredible places, I feel like, of support, encouragement, inspiration, all of these things. So I'm so, so grateful for that. Anyway, let's keep looking. Let's just dig through a little bit just so that you can sort of see. So we've got a bunch of fingering sock or knitted socks, which you would know if you watched my things I'll probably never knit video, but I don't know, maybe I will knit socks. I think I'm getting a lot of sock yarn from this stash, so we don't know. Twin knits, wool and nylon. This looks pretty funky. This is like neutrals with crazy rainbow splashes. Kind of interesting, this like wavy boucle sort of texture. What is this? Merino and nylon. Got some similar, different brand, kind of crazy color-wise, giving a little bit witch's wort. Okay, sorry, I was so zoomed in. This is a little bit better. So here's what I've pulled out so far. Wow, I really like this color actually. This is really nice. It's kind of like a powdery, sort of faded denim blue. And there's a lot here. Fingering sock, excuse me. So superwash merino. So that's kind of a pretty teal color. This is extremely soft. This feels really, really good. This is, oh, it's alpaca, superwash merino, and silk. This is like a fluorescent pink in person. Oh, these are like self-striping sock yarn. That's interesting. So now we have a bunch of kind of one-off, I think these are also probably all sock yarns. These are pretty, definitely variegated. This one I think is my favorite because I lean more towards sort of tonal things, but I think they all could be pretty fun. Black raspberry, very underrated ice cream flavor, I'll say that. And then I think this is probably a variety pack of alpaca, simply alpaca, from Knit Picks. That could be like a very sort of neutral striped sweater. I'm really excited to see some mohair and alpaca in here. This looks amazing. Rule of Plum silk, Surrey alpaca silk. This looks delicious to me, and it's kind of like a dusty purple. I think I could definitely see myself making something out of that. Ritual dyes. I really like this logo. Okay, immediately amazing. This like fluorescent pink. Can I make something in time for the Barbie movie to come out? I think I'm into it. I think I need to make something with this color. These are like a very minty, very light green, and this is like a little bit slightly darker. I would say dark, sort of like stormy seafoam almost. Very pretty pale pink. I love this actually. I think the orange, again, orange is just not my color, but I'm really, really into this. I don't know if you can really see, but there's just this like sort of darker, I don't know. These are just so beautiful. This is also like very vibrant purple. Concord grape. Oh, Concord is actually my hometown, and there are lots of Concord grapes there. They grow wild. It's very intense green. It has some darker parts to it. And then this is green tea, but I'm gonna say this is kind of like a Shrek-y sort of green. Wow, I'm really excited about some of the yarns in here. I think especially the mohair, the alpaca. There's some sweater quantities. I don't know, I'm freaking psyched. I am back with another box. This one looks like it's gonna have some more fun hand-painted yarn goodies in it. And I think I see some silk. So I'm really excited for that one. Knitted Wit Worsted. So this is superwash merino, and this looks super variegated. I think this is definitely too intense for me. Got a bunch of chroma fingering weight. So what is this? This is superwash wool and nylon. And it looks like a single ply. This is pretty cool actually. So I'm into this gradient stuff especially. I've never actually used a gradient yarn, so I think that'll be really fun to work with. Oh, this is Vermont. That's nice. I see it. There's a little bit of fall colors there. This is Swish Bulky Weight. That's kind of interesting. It's not wound up. I don't really know why that would be. Shimmer Lace Weight. So this is baby alpaca and silk. That's really cool. So there's a bunch of different colors of that. This is a big pile of silk, I'm pretty sure. So I'm guessing that this is going to be luminance. Yeah, it is. Luminance lace, 100% silk. And I cannot believe how many colors there are here. This is like kind of insane. So I'm really excited about this actually. Ton of luminance silk. So I've worked with this before. It's kind of a pain in the ass to wind up, but I'm gonna be way more careful this time and I'm so excited. It feels so good. I think there's just some really beautiful colors in here. I love this one. There's like some pale pinks. There's some sort of hand-painted purples and blues. I'm really, really, really excited about this. So I actually don't really have anywhere to put the contents of this box right now. I'm going to do like a craft room makeover. Now that I have so much more yarn, I need better storage and I want to make sure that I'm storing all the wool yarn, etc. in a way that's like safe from, I don't know, potential moths or other pests. So I want to do a makeover for that. So these are all just going to go back in this box for now, but before I do that, I'm going to put them all into Ravelry. So this is how to add things to your stash in Ravelry. So you go to My Notebook and then Stash, which will show anything you've already added. Click Add to Stash, and then you can put in the store that you bought the yarn at. I guess that's kind of nice if you buy yarn as souvenirs, but I don't know where any of these were bought because I didn't buy them. So you put in the name and the yarn brand, and then if it's in their system, they give you the options because sometimes things come in different weights. So this one, Chroma Fingering, was the yarn that I had. You can put in the colorway and then add photos. So I just airdropped things from my phone to my computer directly, but you could also upload it to Google or Flickr, and that might be kind of an easy way of doing it. And then upload the photo. I had 5 balls. So put that in and then just double check because sometimes yarns come in different sizes, like you might be a smaller ball. So just make sure that you have the right number of yards and grams. And then you can add some notes and save it. And now it is in your stash on Ravelry. And it's nice because you can just remove things as you work on them for projects and it'll like do the subtractions for you. So that's kind of a nice feature. And then for the variety pack yarns that had just a single color of a bunch of them, I chose not to do a separate entry for each colorway because it was just a pain. So I just kind of took a photo that showed most of the colors and made a little note, like was it 1 or 2 balls per color? And for some of them, I even just kind of estimated the number of skeins. And then, yeah, that is just kind of an easy way. And then the great thing about adding photos is that you can browse through and see all of the different photos here, which is super helpful. I just wanted like a visual way to sort of shop my stash, especially as my stash gets bigger with all of this, and it might not be easy to see all of them at first glance. And then on the top right, you can click export to get a spreadsheet that has all of this information in it, which is really cool. So you can see like the total number of yards, you can sort it by weight. I think a couple of them are blank because they were like indie brands that weren't in Ravelry, but you can sort by a lot of different things. You can tally a lot of the different things. And then I didn't like buy these, so I don't know what the price was. But you can also have the price if you input the price if you want to see that. You could see how much you've spent on all of your yarn. I don't know that I want to see that necessarily, but that could be helpful for you if you're like ever trying to sell parts of your stash, for instance. That could be pretty useful. And then one last benefit to having this in Ravelry is that you can also search patterns by yarn that you have. So if you go to My Notebook and you click yarn in my stash, I actually hadn't really done this before, but if you click on one of the patterns, and you can obviously like narrow down the search the same way you can as normal, but like I click on this one for instance, and it uses Knit Picks Swish Worsted. I'm not sure if this also like verifies that you have enough in your stash to make like within the range of yards it says you need. I'd have to double check on that, but it is still cool just to like get project ideas from this. So I think that's pretty useful. Okay, so box number 3, 4, I don't know, I'm losing count. We're making progress, but still more. So this is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering in Bear. Okay, that's actually really cool. So I've actually never experimented with dyeing my own yarn before, but I think it's really cool. And I'm pretty sure that in some of the like miscellaneous crafting stuff that she gave me, there's also like a little yarn dyeing kit. So I've actually worked with gloss fingering before and I really like it. So that is really exciting. My first thought is I kind of want to try like a dip dye gradient situation, but a lot more to learn and research there, but I'm kind of excited to have this as like a reason to actually look into it. That's pretty cool. That is quite a bit to practice dyeing with. Also, she stored them all with these lavender and cedar little baggies. I actually do that with mine too, and just makes everything smell cozy. And then it looks like we've got a lot of wool of the Andes worsted. So this is Peruvian Highland wool. And I'm gonna be honest, on first, I just like to put yarn up against my neck. I have a feeling this might be too itchy for me, so I definitely will swatch before I try anything, but I think this is definitely another like variety pack. Maybe this whole box is all wool of the Andes worsted. Okay, so the only yarn that seems to be different is this Clio from Debbie Bliss, which is cotton and polyamide. So that's kind of interesting. That could be a cool, like, for a bag or something. So I'll grab those out. So I'm back with another box and I could kind of see from the outside, this looks like more wool of the Andes worsted. So I wanted to just open it at the same time. I haven't put the first box away yet, but I figured we can probably consolidate, pull out some of the colors that I know for sure I won't use, and then consolidate the rest. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be doing much like bright yellows, for instance. These are the colors that I think I will pass on to another friend. And actually a friend of mine I think looks really cute in bright colors and she likes to knit. So maybe she'll do some sort of funky stripe situation with these. So this is the last of the big boxes. So Knit Picks Swish Worsted. This is super soft. So this is a superwash merino. That feels amazing on my skin, so I think that is definitely a yarn fiber I know I can use. But again, I'll kind of sort through this and figure out what are the colors that make sense for me. I actually love how many hot pinks there are. There's been way more hot pink than I was expecting throughout the course of this haul, and I'm kind of psyched about it. Okay, so after sorting, these are the colors that I'm going to definitely part with. And I feel like this is very similar to the last one. There's a couple of these Aran Toft skeins that are sort of the same vibe, and then this chunky one in purple. And this is the remainder. And it looks like there's about 2 to 3 of each color. And I counted and there's 92 total Swish worsted skeins in this box. So not counting these guys. So that's a lot. I will probably part ways with a lot more of this, but I'm just trying to go through like the very, very obvious no's before I like start breaking my little brain open trying to figure out for the ones that I'm like less sure of. Okay, so now we have these little boxes. See, we've got a mix of Aran and DK. So this makes sense because I was kind of curious why there was just like one-off colors of a couple of them. So these, it looks like these were all sort of in a set together. And then what are these? This is a pom-pom. Wow, this feels really, really good. 100% alpaca. Yeah, this feels incredible. Okay, I'm gonna keep these. And what is this? Just like a giant button, I guess? Ooh, these sparkles. Maybe a little red sweater vest is making its way towards me through these colors. So that is the Toft situation, and this will go in my donate pile. I feel like if your school colors are purple and yellow, this pile here would really make a perfect scarf or sweater for your team. Okay, so we are in the final stretch. I've got these like mini samplers to look through and this random basket. So let's take a look. This I think is raffia yarn. I guess from Wool and the Gang. That's really cool. I've seen people make really cute bags. I actually was just looking at a really cute bucket bag made with this, so that's really exciting, and I like this sort of natural color. I might try my hand a little crochet with that, so I would like to keep that. So we've got some big, I never know how to say this, chenille blanket yarn. I think I am gonna give that away because I'm just not a big blanket knitter. If you watched my Stuff I'll Never Knit, you'd know that about me. Oh, okay, so this is a little, I think it's the Hue Shift blanket. So I know that she was teaching a knitting class locally and they were working on this, so that's really cool. Okay. This is so freaking cute. These are so tiny. So each one is 20 grams, and this is not too itchy, doing the old neck test right now. So this is, I guess, every single color that it comes in. That's kind of cool. I feel kind of compelled to keep this in case I want to do any like duplicate stitching or intarsia. I feel bad that I've clearly now messed up the order that it probably came in. That was beautiful. This would also be cool if you were doing like a very scrappy, color changey kind of color work sweater, like a Fair Isle sweater that has, I'm thinking of like the spot sweater. Oh my God, there's so many more. Okay, I thought those were all the colors, but no. So this is a whole separate range. And then let's look at the last one is sort of the warm neutrals. Okay, I think I have what is called decision fatigue at this point. These are tough because I'm like, well, I can't see an obvious use for them right now, but there is something beautifully compelling about just having like the full range of the entire rainbow, every shade imaginable. So I don't know, I don't think that I can part with them yet. We're ending this on a very cozy note. There's like a huge summer thunderstorm passing through tonight. But I just want to tell you, I put everything into Ravelry and I exported it into a spreadsheet and tallied it up. So the total number of yards of yarn that are now in my possession are 126,935, which is 116,070 meters. So that's a lot of yarn, and that's not including the 3 trash bags filled with yarn that I'm going to give to friends and other knitters. Thanks so much for hanging out with me as I went through it all. Really, really excited to use some of it, so hopefully you all will get to see some of my future projects that use yarn that you saw get unboxed in this video. But I also, now that I have so much more yarn to store, I had just been storing everything in like a cardboard box in my closet. But I think I'm gonna do kind of like a craft room / office revamp. So definitely subscribe if you're interested in seeing that. Hopefully I will be able to post that soon because I'm making moves on it already. And I'm just curious, I'd love to know of the yarns that I shared, which one do you think is your favorite? Like what would you be the most excited to unpack? I think the ones I'm most excited to use are all of the 100% silk yarn, and then also some of the mohair that's just super beautiful colors. Oh, a little bit more thunder. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I hope I see you soon. Bye.